Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I'm your host, Charles. Along with me, as always, my co-host, editor, producer, co-pilot, gunner, navigator, orator, and podcasting associate, Jacob Gloth. How you doing today, Jacob?
I am swell, Charles. I'm happy to be here for episode 190. I'm surprised I've made it this far. I thought I would have been replaced by now, but turns out being the guy that edits the podcast is a valuable enough skill to keep me on.
Yeah, he's got so much dirt on me, folks. All the stuff he's edited out over the years. Oh, I could never fire him. Not in a million years.
Yep, I would ruin your life.
It more than it's already
You would
ruined.
never get hired. Never.
No.
Yeah, well, my one fear is that you will ruin your life before I can ruin it, so I won't have any blackmail.
I love that for you. I'm glad that that's your one fear in life.
Yeah, because then I have no leverage. If you've already ruined yourself, then what am I going to do to convince you to do that?
Yeah, exactly. But for those of us who don't know, every 10 episodes we do a random improvisational pitch, right? Off the dome, as we say. And episode 190 is no different. Although episode 200 maybe there's a little special something that we haven't planned or executed at all yet, but have talked about.
I mean, you just
twice.
Yeah, we probably should.
Probably have.
That would make sense.
I was thinking about that earlier today. I was like, we really need to get our asses into gear.
We got 10 weeks to come out with
to
something.
write an episode, record it,
or do something. Yeah.
But let's not worry about that today. Let's worry about this beautiful pitch that we have yet to think of.
Yeah. So, what have we done recently? I just pitched minutes ago for us, but a whole week ago for them.
A show.
A show about like a fantasy sort
fantasy
of
comedy
dungeon thing.
Show, and the week before that, I pitched a sort of steampunk Indiana Jones road trip kind of a show, right? So I think.
And before that, I did Knights again.
Yeah.
So we definitely can't do
no fantasy,
medieval.
I think.
No fantasy, no medieval.
You know what I'm thinking? I think we may have to do space. We haven't done space not in a very long time. We haven't done space within the last.
We did space. Well, yeah, maybe that's true. Because you did Stellar Highway, which was 184.
Yeah.
And I did a script reading for a show that was a space show.
Yeah, but that
for 185.
That's still that's still a month, right? That's a month without space, and I love space, and so do you, presumably. I'm right now.
I do.
I'm looking
Space is fun.
At a comic book called Batman Off-World. Have you read that comic yet?
Nope.
It's pretty good. It's pretty fun.
Not read any.
Batman goes into space. That's the whole plot. Is Batman's I gotta go into space.
Quite the plot.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a good comic. Good art, all that fun stuff. Also, for those of us who don't know, we just kind of we fucking just bullshit on every 10 episodes. There is a lot of us just trying not to come up with an episode.
Yeah, because we gotta panic here because I'm like, fuck, we're out of space. Okay, so we have to do space, right?
Space.
That's what we're going for
space.
Here.
I was gonna say I always like a space setting that is like a reflection of real historical stuff, right? So maybe we could do like a space World War I, or like space, I don't know, space samurais or something, space Zulus. We could do space Zulus. That could be cool.
Space samurais. That's Star Wars space samurais.
And that's why I changed it to Zulus.
The Zulus. I don't think either of us know enough about the Zulus to do space Zulus.
I don't think I know anything about them except for all of the information in the epic rap battle of history between Shaka Zulu and
Space Space World War I we could maybe do if we did some sort of see, if we're gonna do that, we'd have to be comedic, right? I feel like you have to do like a World War I space satire. That that's like maybe they're all fighting on a planet that nobody needs, and it's completely pointless. But it's just like a pointless war over a pointless planet.
That could be a thing.
But it's like incredibly brutal, and the planet is just getting leveled over and over and over again.
Yeah. Or we could do and it doesn't necessarily have to. Maybe we could do we could combine two genres that we spend a lot of time in. We could do Space Ghostbusters, right? So it's set
Space Ghostbusters.
Yeah, it's set in space, but our characters are paranormal investigators who like exorcise ghosts and deal with demons and monsters and stuff. But it's all in space.
Space Ghostbusters. I kind of like that. So they're driving around in a van, probably. Yeah. It's got to be a van, doesn't it?
It can't be anything.
It's got to be a spaceship van.
It can't be cool. It's got to be like think Spaceballs. They had that space RV they lived in. We could do that, like a space RV, and it's got we've got maybe 3 or 4 characters, right? We'll go with the classic Ghostbusters, dynamic of we have the funny, charismatic one, we have the kind of anxious one, and then we have the nerdy one, right? The nerdy, off-putting one.
Okay.
Right. And we could do an A.
So let's create them first. So we've got the suave, charismatic, funny guy. We'll have he could be.
I'm gonna say a name. I'm gonna say a first name. You say a second name. How's that for coming up with the name?
Timothy Chalamet. That's who he plays him.
Yeah. Okay. Timothy Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet plays him. That's all we have. That's the actor.
Yeah. All right.
What's his name? What's the character's name?
I'm gonna say it first. You say a second. Billy.
I was gonna say Batson. That's the problem with this is I just think of
Yeah.
Billy. I'm trying to think of a name that isn't someone else that's Billy. Billy Graze.
Billy Graze. There you go. That's a good name. I like that. Because he's always getting away. He gets grazed, by bullets and lasers and shit. Because he's by the skin of his teeth.
Oh, I meant the color, but yeah, that works.
No.
Billy Graze works as well though.
Billy Graze. All right. And then for our
Okay, so for the smart sort of anxious guy, he's got to have a nerdy name.
Yeah, Wilbur.
How about Willip? Like Philip, but Willip.
Willip. I like that.
Willip is his first name.
That's very
Your
spacey.
last name.
Wilpur Shropsheer.
I don't think we can do that one.
Why?
Don't we? Wilpur Shropsheer. We can if we want.
Yeah, fuck him.
But you know why I don't think we should do that one.
It's the nerdiest name I could think of that wasn't Oppenheimer. But I feel like people would get on this.
Okay.
If we named him Willip Oppenheimer.
How about Wilpur Shropsheer?
Willip Shropsheer.
Directly.
Yeah.
Okay. Wilpur Shropsheer. And then the last one.
The more that anxious, goofy, comic relief one, right? Enrico
Bertamali.
Enrico Bertamali. All right. Enrico Bertamali,
yep.
Wilpur Shropsheer, and Billy Graze. All right. And those are our three main characters who they all live in this van together, and they travel around the galaxy solving paranormal cases, right?
Mm-hmm. This should be the van is what was I can't even remember the last guy's name. What was it? Bertamali, but what was his first name?
Enrico.
Enrico. Okay, so this van is his mom's van that they've borrowed. They're probably all in their maybe early 30s, late 20s. Yeah. So they're at a point in their lives where they probably shouldn't be doing this anymore.
Mm-hmm. They're firmly in the failure
They all
state.
went to the same physics or sciencey physics program at some school, and they all took a paranormal activity class with Dr. What's a good doctor's name?
Murray.
Dr. Dr. Murray, who's played by Bill Murray. And he's the one that got them all into this, like super hyped up for it. But he, shortly afterwards, got fired by the university for teaching this class because it's a very, it's like, no, it's all fake science. They're saying. Yeah. The university's like, it's shit. Bad teacher. And they all, maybe all of them quit university except for the smart one, Willup. So Willup actually has this degree. The rest of them quit in solidarity with the other two. They quit with solidarity with Dr. Murray. And maybe every once in a while they'll contact Dr. Murray. They'll call him, like, if they, need help with a certain monster. They'll call him and be like, Dr. Murray, what do we do against this, blah, blah, blah. And he'll be like, you do this,
But
blah,
he'll
blah.
always be in a different area, I think. That could be a running gag if they call him for help. But, like, they call him one time he's on, like, a tropical island with, like, bikini babes. They call him another time he's, like, in the middle of a war zone. They call him a third time he's, like, having lunch with the president, right? Like, he's always got to be just, like, doing something fantastical and awesome. Even though he's a coot. He's an old coot.
Yeah. And maybe technically their paranormal company is owned by him. It's like they left to start the company with him, but he doesn't actually work for the company at all.
He just gets paid.
Like, give them orders.
He just, like, takes the...
Yeah. He gets a 50% cut, and the other guys split their 50%, but they're doing all the work. And none of them seem to have an issue with this except for Wilbur.
Also, I think it'd be funny if Wilbur, he's got a doctorate, and so he always introduces himself as Dr. Shropsheer, but it always devolves into everyone just calling him Wilbur. Or Wilpur.
Wilpur.
Oh, fucking Wilpur.
Yeah.
Get your shit together, man. Come on. It's Dr. Shropsheer? No, it's Wilpur, you fucking pussy.
It's fucking Wilpur, you little piece of shit.
And so are we thinking this is a Monster of the Week sort of a show? Right? Each week they go to a different, like, asteroid or satellite or planet or moon or whatever to solve some sort of paranormal case, right?
Yeah. I like that. So, I was thinking the first one, we do a classic, okay? They reach a ship that has been recently, alien has essentially happened there, right? And they get there, and there's, like, cleanup crews there, like, trying to clean up the mess. And we'll have, like, a cold open with this, and they'll be attacked by a ghost xenomorph, essentially. So they killed the xenomorph, but now there's a ghost xenomorph that's upset.
That's something you never think about.
That scares off the workers, obviously. And so now this station has been completely shut down, and they, like, don't know what to do about this ghost xenomorph, and that's when our people show up, in the broken van running out of gas. They, somehow get lucky and stumble across this. Maybe they hear, like, somebody complaining about it in a bar, and they come here, and they're like, we got it, we could do it, and they're, like, promising they can do it, and the people that work there are like, we're just gonna blow up the station, that was kind of the plan, like, we don't really need it, but, I mean, we'll pay you a couple bucks, and if you can do it, then sure, that's great. And so we'll have them going in, trying to take out this xenomorph in, like, a Ghostbusters / Alien storyline here.
Yeah, and we could have, all of the like shots, the traditional shots from Alien, like looking at the jockey and like seeing the eggs, but it's all just our three characters just making fun of it. Like, why the fuck is he sitting like that? That looks ridiculous. Come on, man. Surely a steering wheel is easier than what? Big chair that you control with your mind, I guess? Huh. That's weird. It's fucking very strange. And then, we have Wilpur just, like, examining everything scientifically, and then Billy Graze is like, this is stupid, and he kicks one of the eggs. All of the eggs wake up, and, like, this, like, just thousands of these baby, fetus creatures start chasing them outside, and then Billy just hits it with a flamethrower because, hey, these aren't ghosts. We could just kill them. But then all of the babies turn into ghosts. And they're like, oh shit, we've got 80,000 ghosts following us. And they're all very pissed off.
I'm thinking the big xenomorphs, its unfinished business is that it it never raised one of its children to maturity. That's his unfinished business, and so now they have to raise one of the babies to be an adult. And then they grow really fast, so it happens pretty quickly as they're like trying to raise this xenomorph to be an adult while also not getting killed by it. It becomes an adult, and then they just kill it immediately. So it gets rid of the xenomorph ghost. We see that there's an adult xenomorph that like kind of sees them as like a parental figures, and then Billy Mays just shoots it in the head. It's like, all right, we're done here. We're good.
Billy Mays.
And they're like, what about that one? You know, why? What if it, comes back, has unfinished business? And it's like, not our problem. We did our job. we killed the xenomorph that they wanted. If there's another one, that's that's not what we got paid to do.
If they want us to kill another one, they gotta come on, make it worth our while. What are you doing?
Or maybe you can make a joke about, supply and demand. We gotta keep the marketplace.
Maybe Billy
keep it coming.
Graze just keeps one egg, and then like as he's leaving, he tosses the egg onto another ship and just watches it fly away. And he's like, supply and demand. People, they're gonna want our help again. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
And then when they leave, the other people just blow up the station anyway. Because they're like, well, now there's a billion baby ghosts. You did kill that one, but now there's baby ghosts, and then there's an adult xenomorph ghost again, but it's a different one.
That just blow it up. Always wanted to meet its mother, right? That's its unfinished business, and they're just like, God damn it, this is so useless. They just nuke it from orbit, and they're like, whatever. Job done. I like that. That's fun. I'm trying to think of what other movies we could do. I feel like we could do just like a real classic haunted house, right? I just like they get a distress call.
Haunted planet.
I was thinking there's just like an asteroid with like an old like 18th century Gothic architecture like house manor just floating in space.
Oh, and they're like, how the fuck did this get here?
And it's just the whole episode is just investigating what is going on, and why is there a signal coming from it? What the fuck is this house doing all the way out here? And it could be kind of like a Scooby-Doo-esque thing, like they're going in one door, coming out the other, like impossible geography and shit like that. I'm just trying to think of what the reveal could be. Maybe it's like, there was this, witch.
Yeah, so Billy Graze and Enrico could be so focused on the haunted house the whole time, like getting through the haunted house and focusing on the story within the haunted house, like the little girl that died or something. Meanwhile, Wilbur is like, guys, why is there a haunted house on an asteroid? This doesn't make any sense. Why can we breathe in here? Why are you concerned about like this little weird plot line when the huge thing is way more
insane?
Crazy?
What's going on? I feel like I'm the only person paying attention to what's happening here. And they're like, shh, Wilpur, shh, all right? We're trying to listen for the ghosts. Did you hear that? No, me neither. We'll go into another room. We'll try. We'll listen there. It's fine. And Wilbur's like, fuck.
Pulling out all their goobers and stuff. Listening
idiots.
all this stuff that doesn't make any sense.
And then the final reveal is that this is a house that was transported by like a super powerful businessman, and it's like his family home for the past like 3 centuries. There is no haunting. It's just like that's his security system they set up in the house when he's not home. It shit'll be knocked over. If people enter, they'll be convinced that there's a ghost and leave. That's his security system. They're like, God damn.
That's his whole,
we're such bad scientists. We couldn't figure out this haunting was fake. That was all holograms.
The whole time,
fucking idiots. Yeah.
And maybe even at the end, only Wilbur really realizes this. Billy Graze and Enrico both think that, like, oh, we solved the mystery. We solved it.
We got rid of the ghost.
The little girl ghost. And there he's like, no, it was a... never mind.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. What else could we do? Planets, right? Obviously, they're going down on a... I think we have to do, like, some sort of Wild West episode just because I love space westerns with all my heart. We go down there.
Space Ghost Western. They built a mega mall on a space Native American burial ground.
Yeah.
And this now like Western mega mall, Western style like saloon mega mall, is haunted by space alien Native American.
And we have to do it in a non-offensive way. That's the trick. Is not
Well,
with
see, what's the joke here that you could do? You could have, instead of that, like them actually, the offensive thing, like them haunting them, we have them like suing. That's the whole thing, is that they're suing the mega mall. That's fucking great. The ghosts are suing the mega mall.
And then our characters have to serve as the mega mall's defense attorneys. And they've hired like an undead prosecutor.
Or maybe our guys are back in the ghosts.
Oh, yeah.
They're the experts to prove that the ghosts are real and have a claim on this land or something.
I'm just like
something like
I'm just imagining like a courtroom, right? And you, on one half, you have like all these weird, crazy, like kind of space cowboy people, and on the other hand, it's all just like space cowboy Native American people, but they're all like just this like thin light blue color.
They're all in like business suits.
And then you have an undead defense attorney, who's the guy, or the undead prosecutor, and he's the guy who's who's their legal counsel.
Oh my god, he should be a historical figure too. Like they have I don't know, fucking
Abraham Lincoln.
William Jennings Bryan or something. Some like old US history defense attorney that's famous. William Jennings Bryan's probably a bad example, but he's the first one I thought of. Anyone who's got like maybe with like a big southern drawl, and he's like kind of citing things that happened like thousands of years ago, and he's completely behind on the legal.
He has no idea how space law works.
Jumbo.
And they call it space law. They don't call it the law. They call it.
Yeah.
So I followed the letter of the space law. All right, this was done by the book. Yeah.
At some point, someone's got to die. I think the prosecuting attorney maybe dies, and now he has to come back as a ghost prosecutor.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he switches sides. Maybe he's like, oh well, I'm dead now, so I'm on their side.
Oh shit, that could be good. They're like, maybe they're trying to get people for the jury, and so they're just killing people, try to make them ghosts. They're like, well, we need a jury of their peers, so they're like, trying to.
This is jury duty.
They're, just shooting people that they think would be a good juror.
I'm imagining the scene where it's like, they do the jury like thing where they like all the defense attorney and the prosecutor, they talk to the jury members and they pick like 12 people, right? And they're like, all right, you 12 have been selected to be the jury members in this case. If you'll please step into this room, right? And all of them step in.
Oh, shit,
and then you hear 12 gunshots, and then 12 ghosts filed, like, step out. And they're like, all right, now if you please.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, man.
Sorry, you got to be a jury of their peers, and it's just their ghosts.
You know how it is, right? You got a problem with it, you can sue. Apparently, ghosts know how to sue. Am I right, folks?
Yeah, that could be one of the things, like the prosecutors trying to get their case thrown out because ghosts can't sue. And there's actually like a small provision in the thing. It's like, well, it doesn't actually clarify if you need to be alive or not to sue. I guess the founding space fathers didn't take into account that ghosts could sue.
I love the founding space fathers. I'm just imagining all the founding fathers in like clunky 50s space helmets and being like, yes, this is us. We've discovered space. And they're like, dude, so many people have been here before you guys. No, we discovered it. We founded it. So shut the fuck up and write this down. I've got a bunch of laws. I'm gonna tell you all these laws, dude.
Yep.
What else could we do?
Another idea we could do.
Maybe we could do, because ghosts and aliens are oftentimes paired together as being equally pseudoscientific, and I do think it would be very funny to have, like, somebody call our guys for crop circles, even though they're in space, and they all, like, fly there, I think that's funny.
Yeah, they're asteroid crop circles.
Exactly. And it's like, it was a flying saucer. And it's like that one, the one that just passed you by, driven by your neighbor Dave? No, it's a different flying saucer. I didn't...
Nah, these were aliens. Not our kind of aliens. I mean, the other kind of aliens, the mysterious,
big heads,
the
and
green Martian kind,
big eyes and stuff. And it's like, sir.
Yeah, it'd be great if they still have an idea of aliens that aren't aliens.
Yeah.
That they know. And he's like, aliens, capital A, not lowercase a. I'm talking about the aliens.
Lowercase a aliens. I love that. Yeah. And we just it's just a whole episode of I'm not racist, but I'm worried about these aliens.
Oh, we could have a Scooby-Doo scenario here. So we could learn that the flying saucer that he's thinking of is actually just trying to get him off his land so that they can build a
amusement park
KFC,
or something.
Space
KFC. I do love
on
the
asteroid.
idea of everything being prefaced with space. You know?
I think we should have a space Colonel Sanders, who's a reoccurring villain.
Yeah.
For them, he's constantly trying to get land for stuff, and the way he always does it is by trying to introduce fake aliens and fake ghosts to places, and they constantly are debunking him. And he's like, "Curse you space Ghostbusters."
We'll come up with a better name.
What is their name? That's probably we probably gotta come up with a title.
I was looking into it.
It's gotta be their name.
So I feel like
Spacebusters.
paranormal, superstitious space, right? Superstitious space is kind of the alliterative title that I've stumbled upon. But the problem is you Google space synonyms, all it is synonyms for it's room, period of time, volume, scope, and I'm like, that's not helpful, you know? Space, a synonym for outer space. There we go. 18 synonyms and antonyms for outer space. All right. They all just have space in them. That's kind of stupid. It's synonyms for outer space, celestial space, cosmic space, intercosmic space. Fucking stupid. But I'm...
we do something with Spectre, the Spectre...
Yeah.
Hunters, ghost hunters,
Spectre...
Space Spectre hunters.
Collectors. How's that?
The Space
Specters. But I had an idea for the Space Colonel Sanders, the reoccurring villain. Maybe we could introduce him in an episode where they hire him because he is being haunted by the billions of chickens that he has slaughtered. And so just he's got this enormous mansion, plantation style, house in the middle of an asteroid belt, and there's just every time he steps out of the house, just billions of chicken ghosts just appear to haunt him.
And what's annoying is that they make sounds their roosters constantly crowing.
I need to fucking sleep, you guys. And our characters, they figure out, they solve all the problem, they figure it out by the end, and he gyps them, he doesn't fucking pay them. And so that's where the rivalry begins. And just as the show continues, they get more and more they just hate each other by the end. I like the show. This is fun. I think the
Oh yeah, because we could get a reveal at the end that the reason he wanted to slaughter the chickens. He wanted to slaughter the space chickens so he could sell space chicken nuggets because he's trying to expand into the ghost
chicken nuggets.
Food industry.
Yeah, there you go. Ghosts gotta eat too. And then Wilpur.
And they sabotage it accidentally, so he can't get his ghost chicken nuggets and hates them.
I'm imagining a scene where.
And he's been cultivating these ghost chickens for years, and they've sabotaged his effort.
I wasn't looking for you to get rid of the chickens. I was looking for you to find a way to make them shut the fuck up so I can sleep once in a while. God damn it! This is years of planning gone down the drain. Do you know how many
billions of dollars?
Do you know how many hexes I needed to get witches to cast on these chickens to make them come back as ghosts? Are you kidding me? This is ridiculous. You sons of bitches. I will never, ever allow the Spectre Collectors near one of my buildings ever again. I'm just deciding that they're the Spectre Collectors. The show doesn't need to be called the Spectre Collectors, but what was the one that you came up with? I like the title.
I said the Space Specters, but either we got to somehow get like space in the
Yeah,
title.
I think the space is an important part.
Or like
Space Spectre Collectors. That's too wordy. That's too much.
Yeah, that's too much.
I think the Space Spectres. Let's just call them the Space Spectres. And
the Interstellar Spectre Collectors.
see, Space Spectre Collector, too much.
That's too long.
That, what you just said, not nearly enough. That's perfect. That's the right length. Intergalactic Space Spectre Collectors. The Cosmic, we could do the Cosmic something. Think of a ghost name.
Cosmic Apparition Apprentices.
Cosmic Apparition Apprentice.
Transcendental.
Transcendental. Transcendental.
Space Spectral Collectors.
The Space Spectre Collectors.
Spacebusters.
Spacebusters. Let's just call it. All right. How about this? We'll come up with.
Call it Spacebusters.
We'll call it Spacebusters.
For the
That's
show
fine.
on the thumbnail, but it'll be something else when we actually. Well, Spacebusters is probably actually that's probably legal, right?
Yeah,
Spacebusters.
That's 100% legal.
Yeah, it's fine. They'll be called the Spectre Collectors in the show, but Spacebusters
on the title because that's probably going to get more clicks. People hate alliteration.
And it's a fun name, Spacebusters.
Spacebusters. Yeah, I like it. I'm trying to think of it if there's any more episodes, and I'm like, well, maybe we could do something that's not ghosts, right? Like werewolves or vampires or something.
We could do like a, You could have a space werewolf.
Yeah, space werewolf that is always a werewolf.
That's terrorizing.
Because somewhere in the universe, it's always a full moon. Or, what about this?
Yeah, that's good.
We could do like...
He's traveling around. He's a space werewolf. He has a spaceship, and he's traveling to planets that only have full moons. And so that's how they find out. But like he's always attacking full moon, planets.
And
that's how they track him down.
And he's an agent.
Now he can't be weak to silver. He has to be weak to something else. He has to be weak to
the
space equivalent to silver.
I don't know.
Which
helium. That was my thought. Is helium. Because you know how in reality, in the actual world that we live in, helium is becoming rarer and rarer, So maybe in this like far future setting, helium is next to impossible to get, and so that's his weakness. But also, the only way that it injures him is if he talks with that goofy voice.
Well, here's what I was thinking, Charlie. Yeah. His weakness is space chickens.
Oh, shit. Maybe they keep one.
It's got to go
I
around.
like it.
They've got a little. Oh my God! They've got a little space chicken that came with them in their ship.
There you go.
And he become Mr. Klux.
Mr. Klux.
And Mr. Klux is like their friend, their
Maybe
buddy. And we'll have a big moment where, the space werewolf is gonna kill them, but Mr. Klux clucks at him, and that scares him, and he runs away, and they're able to use Mr. Klux to corner him.
Maybe the evolution of Mr. Klux is that like. In the KFC episode, one of the characters steps and
sorry, the KFC episode? You mean the space?
Sorry.
KFC?
In the space KFC episode, one of the characters, probably like Enrico, because he's clumsy, steps on an egg, and it turns into like into a ghost chick. And then as the episode goes on, the ghost chick grows up a little bit, and it turns into a space chicken, a space ghost chicken, and then they just you know what? Come on, buddy, we're not gonna exercise you. And he becomes a little mascot. He roosts. They have to for him to roost, they take twigs onto the ship, and then they snap all the twigs into really small pieces so they become ghost twigs, and then he's able to roost with the ghost twigs. There you go. Perfect logic. All right. Don't let anyone ever say that we're not a logical podcast. Where we pitch TV shows. What else? Well, yeah, werewolves. We could do like a space vampire, like a coven, or not coven. It's like a nest of vampires, and it's just they're all on this abandoned asteroid, and it could be like a kind of a horror episode. It's like our our heroes, our intrepid specter collectors, go onto the station, thinking that it's like this abandoned place, and they're investigating it, and then it turns out there's just like thousands and thousands of vampires just nesting here, and they have to figure out a way to stop them, because it's like, well, turns out vampires are still weak to the sun, and they just, steer the station near one of the dozen suns that are nearby, and or we could reveal that the vampires are only weak to Earth's sun. Like, vampires aren't weak to any other sun, and so they think, we'll kill them with the sunlight, and then it turns out, nope, only Earth's sun. All the other suns might as well be, a nice suntan, who cares? And so they have to figure out a new way, and, I don't know, it could be garlic, right? That'll be how they kill all the vampires, is that garlic, this long extinct ingredient, has been rediscovered, and they, duplicate a bunch of it and put it in the water systems, and then, turn on the sprinkler system, and all the vampires melt. And then we have Billy Graze say something, stupid and cruel. I don't know what the stupid, cruel thing would be. Well, talk about garlic breath, am I right? There you go. And then Wilpur will look over to him and be like, thousands of beings just died at our hands, and you make jokes? It's like, come on, Doc. Quit being such a hard ass all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, and he the reality of the situation dawns. He just looks sad down at his feet. There you go.
I liked it. That's a fun show. With the Spacebusters, the Spectre Collectors.
Yeah, that's fun. I like it. I think it's original. I've not seen it done before. Have you? No one ever has.
No,
because we're geniuses,
it's never done.
And it's
completely
100% original in everything that we do. And thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode and the last 189 episodes of the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I've been your host, Charles. Along with me, he's always been my co-host, editor, producer, co-pilot, gunner, navigator, orator, and podcasting associate, Jacob Gloth. If you like what you heard here and you want to hear more, please give us a like, a follow, a subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog, tell your cat, and remember, we will be here next week with a brand new televisual series for you all to imagine and enjoy to the fullest of your abilities. Thank you all, and have a good night.
Goodbye.